Hello, welcome to my first champion showcase. Today we're going to be looking at Sorcerer Supreme taking a variety of fights in the past season of Alliance War. If you enjoy the video, please consider giving a like and a subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out. So, first, we have Carolina Dean on node 35. This is a pretty common placement overall. So, against Carolina, we're going to start this fight in the purple rune. That is going to allow us to power steal, so we can immediately knock down with a special 1. This will get rid of the protection and allow us to start nullifying her placebo buffs as well as her shiny buffs. Can't remember the name of them off the top of my head. We're going to bait out this special, launch another special 2. I do miss the dex there, but luckily she was quite nice to me at that moment. But this fight is pretty much over at this point. We've got the power steal back. She's not going to be able to get up to special 3. Tank the special 2 into block with the regeneration. And then this fight is over with a special 3 at the end. Very nice, easy fight. And that was over in about 40 seconds with a 400k special 3 at the end. Now we have Galen on node 26. This is Path 8, Section 2, the first fight. So here we just need to make sure not to use 2 specials in a row to give him the intensify buffs. And apart from that, there's not a huge threat here. This placement, I guess, is to mainly stop his buffs being prevented by neutralize, because the node has force of will on it. But that doesn't matter to Sorcerer, we're just going to control his buffs here, keep spamming the special 2, that will keep his harvest low to stop him from going unstoppable, but we'd have the slow anyway even if he did. But this fight is already over with a nice 300k crit on the end, and that was 37 seconds, pretty much full health. Now we have Hulklin on node 40. This is the Mixmaster node, and you don't want to parry on this node either because it puts a soul barb on you. We did start with 2 bars of power there because that was the power start 1 plus the Storm X synergy, which gives her an extra bar of power at the start. And this fight is already pretty much done. We're going to use a special 3 here. This is going to put him down to pretty low health. Another special 1 just to keep the nullify field up. We're just going to wait out the indestructible, and the fight is over. And that was a very, very quick 30-second fight there against Hulkling. Very, very nice. Now, let's go into some non-cosmic fights. First, we have Frankencastle on node 1. This is the regeneration node where they get regen buffs, and once they get to 10 regen effects, I believe they go unblockable. So we're going to get the nullify field up, and at the same time this will put the slow on. This means that we can basically ignore his unstoppable from his run. That was a nice 133k crit there. Use another special 2. That's another nice 133k crit, and this fight is already pretty much over. 80k there on the special 1, and yeah, this fight is already done. Very, very nice. That was 27 seconds on that fight. Now we have Baron Zemo on the buffet node. This is node 28, the second fight of Path 1 in Section 2. So this fight is pretty similar to the Frankencastle fight you just saw. It's going to be a little bit slower because Baron Zemo uses his cleanse to get rid of the armor breaks that Sorcerer puts on. So she can't ramp up her damage as easily against Zemo that she can with other champions, but she still works absolutely fine. The nullify field will keep the buffet under control. We're going to launch a special 3 here. This is going to do a nice amount of damage. We're up to another special 2. And another special 2. And this fight just continues to cycle. We've now run out of his cleanse charges, so we can finally get the armor breaks on. And then this special 3 is going to finish off the fight nice and quickly. And yeah, pretty nice overall. The special 3 did finish off with a nice 270k at the end there too. Okay, so now we have a Red Skull on node 28. So Red Skull is immune to Nullify and Fate Seal, so we're not going to be able to use our usual tactic here, but Sorcerer does have one thing, and that is armor breaks. And those armor breaks will be able to remove Red Skull's armor. We're just waiting out the buffs here. We're going to go to special 3. This will mean that I will be able to put on a armor break every single time I now use a special, which is going to nullify those armor ups and allow us to begin to out damage him on the node. So we're going to wait out this Arc Overload here, and now we just start launching these specials. So we're going to do a nice special 3 here. I am running Mystic Power Boosts on this fight, but that's going to immediately get us back to another special 3. We can launch this, and then that's going to get us to another special 3. Can launch it again, and this fight is over. With Mystic Power Boost, she's honestly just completely unfair. You can basically use her like Professor X. There's a nice 280 there as well, but yeah. So the next fight that we're going to be going on to now is Gentle. So this is node 13, which is the node on path 4, section 1, second node. So this is where if you don't intercept them after a while, you get the suppression, and you get the unsteady debuff if you don't hit them a certain amount of time. However, the combat power rate reduction doesn't matter to Sorcerer because pretty much all of her power gain is ability power rate, so she basically ignores the node here. As long as you hit Gentle enough times to avoid the glancing, that's pretty much the only minor threat, in which even if he does manage to get to the glancing, all it does is slow down the fight a little bit. Now, he does have the Reinforce, which means we can't crit against him, but that doesn't particularly matter because Sorcerer doesn't really need to crit to do damage. We're going to get the Power Steal here, which is again just going to feed our abilities. And we basically have him by this point. We've got the slow on, so there's no threat of the unstoppable. Dodge this special 1, we're going to use another special 2 here. 4 armor breaks, nice 71k there, even without the crits, and yeah, he's pretty much done here. And that's the fight over, full health, and yeah, doesn't need to have buffs. Now we have an interesting fight, so we have Cassandra Nova here. This is node 15, so this is the second fight of path 6. Where you get an exhaustion put on you every time you crit, or every time you bleed them. You hit them, they go a bleed, and then it gives you an exhaustion. But again, all that does is reduce critical damage rating. Now, the reason why Cassandra was placed here is because every time they get the bleed, it refreshes the regeneration passives, or it gives her regeneration passives. I think it refreshes them, but it's not really going to matter on this node because we're just going to completely out-damage the regeneration with the specials here. She's pretty much down by this point. We're just going to take this into the block, bait the heavy out, and this is going to close out the fight here. Even with the exhaustions trying to reduce the damage, it doesn't make much of a difference, and that was still down in 40 seconds. Now we have a fight that's a very common one to see. So we have node 46 Serpent here, and this is one of my favorite fights to take with Sorcerer, and you're going to see why now. So for this fight, we're going to start with the regen and use the special 1 to get rid of the power gain. I did have Mr. Fantastics on for this fight, however, it's not really needed in most cases. So what we can do here is we can just take these into the block, and they're going to do literally no damage because Sorcerer just regenerates it all back. I think we bait another special 2 here. Again, we're just going to take this into the block. Got 3 armor breaks, nice 172 crit. Take the special 1, we're going to launch the special 3. That's going to put him down to 8% health remaining. Then he's entered death immunity. We've got the relic ready. Relic Intercept on stand-up, and this fight is done. Doesn't even get to the last hit. And down he goes. Full health finish on a Node 46 Serpent. 315k at the end in just over a minute. Now we have a boss here. We have a 1.6 million health Deathless Thanos on the boss node. And you're going to see this is a lot of fun. So, I'm going to start here with the purple rune. This will allow me to put the slow debuff on, so now we can completely ignore his unstoppable for the entire fight. We're going to dash in, use a special 2 here, and then after this point, it's basically just bait special 1s and then use the nullify field to fuel our Mystic Dispersion to just keep throwing specials at him. So I should have probably outweighted the protection there, but you're going to see it's not going to matter. We're going to dash in. This is going to be another special 1 here. Use another special 2. We're building up the armor breaks now. 133 non-crit. Wait for the I should have waited for the protection to go out. I didn't there, but that's okay. And now this is what I'm going to do. So this is our 177k heavy hit there. And this fight is already over. Now that special 3 at the end there did 522k. And that was a Deathless Thanos 1.6 million health in just over a minute. Now we have an Onslaught boss here. So this is 1.4 million health, just under. And you're going to see it doesn't make much of a difference. Now we did have the Storm X synergy again with a power start so that I can immediately get a special 2 out to get the armor break on. And then after this point, it is pretty much just a case of baiting out his heavy for openings, using the special 2 to just basically get him down. Can use the power steal so we don't have to worry too much about his specials. We bait out a special 2 here though. Dex that, straight back in on the attack. 105k there, non-crit. This fight is very much in control. Don't have to worry too much about the neuroshocks because Sorcerer has a very high energy resistance. So we're up to 6 armor breaks now. There's 150k non-crit. This fight is basically over. Done. I had very, very low crit RNG there, and we still took down a 1.4 million health Onslaught boss in literally 60 seconds. So now we have this Frankencastle boss. So I kind of make a big mistake at the start of this fight, where you'll see in a second. I accidentally got parried there, so I ended up taking a combo right to the face. But we'll get back on track now. It won't matter too much because we'll be able to heal back pretty much all of that damage as the fight goes on now that we've got the regeneration passives going. But yeah, it's not the best start for me. So I completely forgot about the slow immunity on the node. So I will admit I kind of played this very wrong looking back on it. I definitely feel like I would use a very different strategy next time, and you'll see what that is shortly. So first thing I want to do is bait out this special 2 just to get him to dump his power, because what I want to do instead is use special 3, but I want to wait to use the special 3 for when I get back into my orange rune. So we're going to heavy attack there. We're going to wait for this rune to go back to orange, so that when I use the special 3, I'll basically get a permanent armor break rune, so that every time I use a special, it will put an armor break on him no matter what. And yeah, once this special 2 is gone, just watch how quickly this fight goes down now. So special 2 there does 140k crit, and now we're basically just going to be spamming these back to back with the armor breaks and not giving him a chance to do anything. I could have made this fight so much quicker if I'd have just done this in the first place, but like I said, hindsight's 20/20. I know for next time. 6 armor breaks, and that is a 460k crit to finish. That fight could have been a lot quicker, but never mind. I hope you enjoyed today's showcase. If you'd be interested in seeing a Sorcerer Supreme showcase in Battlegrounds, then please do let me know. And if there's any other champion that you see here that I have ranked that you might want to see a showcase for in the future, please do drop a comment below. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in another video soon. Bye for now.